I've been very, very, very overwhelmed and stressed at work lately, and I want this video to, one, talk about it, and two, share how I've moved through it these past few days, weeks, and share just my experience and strategy for moving forward feeling refreshed. If you're new, I do a lot in my job as an archivist. I work in a very small archives. We have a small team, and I essentially have lots and lots of hats that I wear, and more recently there have been more hats placed on my head, and I'm just all kind of supposed to be figuring it out, making it work, and come out on top. And for most of my life, I've identified as an overachiever, highly productive, sought out self-help and strategies and ways to be more productive, and it just all really started to kind of bubble into a volcano in March, April of this year. And there were definitely times where I was like, am I burned out? Is this gonna be the end? Do I just want to call it quits? These are very, very dramatic things. Definitely have had those thoughts. And now that I've kind of come out on the other side and I've moved through at least those big feelings, I was probably on the verge of burnout, and I get to points where I always, am teetering on the edge of burnout, and that's when I know I need to like take a step back, self-care, take time for myself. And part of that was also meeting up with my friend Amanda, and I talked about this in my last video. It was my monthly reset video, which is more of a personal goal focused vlog, but I did talk about the work stress I've been experiencing, because obviously work seeps into our personal lives. We all know that. So I did talk about that a little bit, but I want this video to really focus on the work specific side of that. So the first big aha moment that Amanda helped me realize and that we tackled together was just my email inbox overwhelm. That was really where most of my overwhelm was coming from. Yes, we can talk about putting more things on my plate, but the inbox, that's the first thing I open in the morning. and then I'm just inundated with emails, new emails, old emails that I've avoided and just keep putting on the back burner. This is the beginning of my cycle. It's like I open my inbox, I see the new emails, I see the old emails, and then I start feeling guilty and bad about myself. And the shame comes through where I feel bad that I haven't responded to that old email from like weeks ago, some a month ago, some even months ago, coupled with the new emails coming in. And then once I even get outside of my inbox, knowing that there's a lot of other things that I need to do, it was just all compounding again into this volcano, and it was really about to erupt, guys. It was about to push. But thankfully we did not erupt. We calmed down a bit and we took a step back. I can now see the light at the end of the tunnel. And I know there are still more kind of ways that I need to reevaluate how I work and what I do and what I spend my time on. And this past week was kind of a trial of taking what I learned from the inbox overwhelm, applying it, and then figuring out just new ways and tools and just how to operate at my job. So the first kind of thing, major thing, tip that I learned from Amanda, and I'm gonna pass it on to you guys, is the snooze button. I love the snooze button. I'm a big fan of the snooze button. Prior to last week, I did not really know what the snooze button was. I never used it, and dare I say it is life-changing. So basically, when you open your inbox, you have like your main inbox, and then I also have kind of like priority boxes where I can like categorize my emails or tag them or label them to sort out my work and try and, you know, make it not just one huge list of a million things. I have research requests, I have collections management, I have digitization projects, I have different categories that I bucketed my workload into and then applied that into my inbox. But even that was getting really overwhelming because of just the main inbox. Amanda suggested snoozing emails, which basically you just snooze it and you hide it from your main inbox, and you can snooze it for a day, an hour, a week. You can just like kind of let it disappear. It kind of goes into its own little snooze category area and it's temporarily eliminated from your inbox. And this just instantly, my overwhelm was just like dramatically decreased, and it gave me hope. I was able to kind of feel less guilty about things, and it also just really helped me focus at one thing at a time. That's the other thing I struggle with, is that I have so many things to do. My hands are in so many like buckets, if you will, and my brain is like, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this, and then I need to do them all at the same time. When really, you get nothing done trying to do everything at the same time, multitasking. The snooze button has allowed me to snooze emails that I don't want to deal with right now, but then deal with them at a later scheduled time where I can do a sprint and focus and work through them. So right now, let's see how many snoozed emails I have. I have 7 emails that are snoozed, and they're just snoozing. They're sleeping. They don't matter right now, but they will matter a little bit later this afternoon when I sit down to bulldoze through them. And since it is Monday, Mondays are a good day for me to plan, get ahead, kind of, you know, see how I want my week to go. And we have a board meeting tomorrow. So a big board of directors meeting. We have these like 3-4 times a year where I have to present a report on what I've been doing as an archivist, the progress we've made, things that have come up, and just things we need to report to the board of directors. So that's all drafted. I need to send that out later and just kind of keep an eye on my inbox if other board things come up, the Zoom link and people with questions, yada, yada, yada. And that leaves me with like this whole kind of open window of what am I gonna do today? You guys know I love my buckets and my categories, so I need to do like collections related stuff today, pulling records and preparing for research visits. And then I also need to work on research requests, which there are different tiers and categories of research requests. There's just like emails where I need to reply to emails. There's like reference checks, initial checks where I have kind of requests and I need to look into our collections to see if we have anything relevant for them and then reply to the email. And then there's paid research requests where people have already paid an hourly fee for me to conduct research on their behalf. Those I'm not doing today. I'm gonna save those for later this week, but I do have some kind of quick checks that I couldn't get to last week that I want to just like check off real quick today to get them done and then just clear up more space for the rest of my week. Lately, I've not been doing that. I've just been kind of pushing everything, procrastinating, realizing like how overwhelmed and stressed I am and how it stems from my inbox has really been helping me step up to the plate and prioritize and get this stuff done, because I know in the long run it's gonna help me feel better. And then at some point today, I want to work through those snoozed emails like for a 30-minute, hour sprint and just get them replied to. We can do this, all right? Okay. First thing I needed to do was to return some records that I had pulled. We are working with Ancestry.com to digitize our church records, and this is a big part of my daily tasks. Luckily, this isn't something I have to deal with every single day. It's more of like a every other week type of task where I need to pull records for the digitization person. Once they are finished with that batch, which is just on a cart, I have to return it and then pull the next batch. And this does take 1 to 2 hours depending on what I run into, because again, there's always a surprise waiting for me in the archives. I could stumble onto something that is not cataloged or something questionable or even mold, and then it kind of stops me in my tracks and I have to focus on that, get it done, and then kind of get back to what I was doing. So you really have to overestimate your time when it comes to any type of project, and luckily returning these did not take that long. Now that I returned the ones that are finished, I need to pull the next batch, as I like to call, and this requires me to fill out pull slips. I always use pull slips, which basically is just like a bookmark that I place on the shelf when I pull something, so it helps to keep track of your collections and your inventory and who's moving things and visitors and security. So I need to just go to my little Ancestry tracker, figure out what's the next set of records to pull, and then I create the pull slips in Word, print them out, and then go and pull the next batch, which sometimes takes 30 minutes, sometimes takes an hour. It all depends on that batch. So it took me like an hour and a half to do all of my Ancestry returning, pulling. I had to do some like collections management things in between, like labeling the dates of the registers because they were never labeled. And my lunch is ready. It is time to eat lunch, my friends. We're trying something new, a vegan grain bowl from Wegmans, which is gluten-free, lactose-free, and vegan. I got this at the grocery store yesterday. They must be new. Excited to try. Smells good. I usually pack my lunch or meal prep sandwich or stir fry. Mondays are kind of a wing it day because Sundays I don't like meal prepping. I prefer to meal prep on Mondays or Tuesdays because Sundays are just like I don't want to do anything days, or I'm doing fun things. So having like a microwavable meal definitely helps when I'm busy or just, you know, don't want to prepare anything. And tonight I do want to cook and make this shrimp bowl. I think it's called smoky shrimp bowl. I've made it once before. It's a Trader Joe's recipe. It's so good, and I want to at least share that with you guys tonight, and I'll meal prep a few of those this evening. But lunch today, pre-made. I never sit in this room, this is our like reference research room where visitors come. I never sit in here anymore since our digitization person works in here, and they're here Tuesday through Thursdays, and I usually just sit out in the hallway. But since nobody's here today, I'm sitting here. I am gonna try and read. We're still trying to get through Pride and Prejudice. I'm also reading another book, Camp Zero, that I'm almost finished with, but this is just great for taking to work because it's so small, but you can tell I'm not making much progress. So yeah, let's eat, take a walk, read, and then get back to work. Dinner time! I made a smoky hot shrimp bowl. I'm gonna link the recipe down below. Like I mentioned earlier, it's from Trader Joe's, and I made it once before. This is my second time making it, and I'm excited to eat it. Friends, we're gonna end the video with a little bookish segment, unboxing segment, because I have a package from Target. I know what it is, so let's open it. Spoiler alert, it's a book, but the surprise is, what book is it? Alright, I got The Fourth Wing, or just Fourth Wing, by Rebecca Yaros. You guys probably know there's a lot of hype about this book. I don't know, it's very well hyped. I read one like blog post article from the Every Girl about how this book, I'll link the article below if I can remember, but it just convinced me that I need to read this book. Then I read all the Goodreads reviews. People I'm friends with on Goodreads are raving about it. I'm like, I need this. I need a new kind of book to get me reinvigorated about life, you know? Kind of like how the Greenbone Saga, Fond du Lis, that just kind of ripped me to shreds. And look how pretty. If you can't tell, it's about dragons. It's about dragon riders, and it's like a dark academia or academia vibe because it's at a college where there are dragon riders. We'll be reading this soon. I also have another book coming in the mail on Wednesday. So George got me this book for my birthday. I ordered The Happy Place by Emily Henry. That's supposed to come on Wednesday, and that's also from George as a birthday gift. So thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys know I love my Emily Henry. I feel like she's just a quintessential summer reading vlog vibe for me, and I'm excited to read The Happy Place probably end of May, early June. We'll have a little summer reading vlog. Get excited. All right, and one final confession with the whole theme of like trying to focus and get back on track at work. While I feel a lot less stressed at work, I will also say adding in the fact that I was vlogging today was definitely a micro stressor. So while I thought I was equipped to handle vlogging and work today, I feel like whenever I vlog at work, I definitely take a hit in terms of like my focus and productivity, and just want to be real with you guys because that is the life of being a YouTuber and filming and trying to get good shots, and also I'm at work, so trying to balance those two is very interesting. I'm gonna end the video here because I started editing it when I got home from work. I'm trying to be conscientious of not talking too much and going on too much. Thank you guys for being here. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next video. Well, this week certainly blew up in my face. Remember at the beginning of this video, about 5.5 minutes in, when I was saying how there are still things in my work that I need to evaluate and work on? Remember how I mentioned about a volcano almost erupting? The volcano definitely erupted on Wednesday. Dare I even say it pre-erupted on Tuesday. So I mentioned we had like a big board of directors meeting on Tuesday. That turned into like a huge 3-hour long meeting. And then in the afternoon, I had to deal with research visitors, records drop-offs, just like so much peopling. And you guys know that I'm an introvert. And I know a lot of you guys have asked me questions around, you know, is being an archivist good? If you're introverted, it seems like it could be a good job if you don't like dealing with people. And I always say, you will probably need to deal with people on some degree. In the land of archives, it's still a customer service job. I know majority of my time is not spent dealing with people, but on the days where I do deal with people, it really sucks a lot of my energy out. By like 4 o'clock on Tuesday, I was so drained, went home and stayed and crawled into bed for like hours until I had to like force myself out to make myself food. And then Wednesday, I woke up wanting to go into work, and then I just could physically not do it. Like I had burned myself out, and then I entered into this spiral of shame and guilt around not going into work and feeling bad about myself. And like I had a full on like mental breakdown essentially. And then I decided I just couldn't work at all. Like it was an emergency like mental health self-care day, and I just stayed at home and stayed in bed the majority of the day. So I woke up today feeling a little bit better, but still not 100% like physically better. Like mentally I was a lot better, but I wanted to stay home again just to continue my rest and recuperation after all the peopling on Tuesday. And I'm really glad I did that because I was very productive today. I was able to work on emails and computer tasks. It ended up being a much more productive day than it would have been if I went into the office. And this is all to say that I ended up burning out this week. This is a pattern that happens a lot, and I've been keeping track and trying to notice what causes it. At the beginning of the video, I talked about like my email overwhelm and stress, and that was definitely causing a lot of issues for me. But the other aspect of it is also dealing with people and phone calls and being in meetings, and I had to give a report and having to tend to other people's needs. That drains a lot of energy out of me. And if I do not regulate with self-care and rest on a regular basis and tend to my needs, it can blow up in my face as it has this week. The good thing is I can again see that light at the end of the tunnel, and I know what I need to work on, and I have therapy in like 5 minutes, so I'm gonna go throw this all on my therapist. This is kind of a to be continued saga for you guys. I wanted to tell you this now while it was happening because it didn't feel right to like put out this video without kind of sharing, you know, what happened a few days later after I filmed. I'm going through it. I'm working through it, and this is me, you know, prioritizing self-care and my well-being. I'm so grateful for the support that I have from friends, my therapist. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting my videos. Hopefully this gave you an in-depth behind-the-scenes look of an archivist. Me in particular, this is just my experience. I just want to say thank you guys for allowing me to feel safe to share this with you guys and be vulnerable and share my experiences, because it's been a week. It's definitely been a week, and I'm looking forward to continuing to rest this weekend and getting refreshed for the week ahead. With that said, I will see you in the next video.